Welcome to the newest RV interview. I'm here with the awesome Renee Bagby. And Renee, you've been at the event how many years now?
Oh, I don't even remember. I think I found this event like 2 or 3 years after it started.
Yeah.
And I only missed 1 year because of my kidney stone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm glad you didn't bring that here.
No.
Don't have any catastrophes at the event.
I was the day before I was supposed to get on the plane to come here.
Oh, man.
And off to the emergency room I went. I was like, oh.
I mean, thank God you weren't on the plane.
No.
Can you imagine? You know?
Or like here, it's like, guys, I have to go to the emergency room.
From where do you travel?
Right now from Hawaii. But we're moving back to Maryland soon. So.
Okay, yeah, but see, that wouldn't have been that would have been a problem. It's not like you're jumping from Chicago to here.
Yeah, no, I was visiting my mom at the time. So she lives in Georgia.
Yeah.
And then, oh God, that was horrible. But I was like, at least I wasn't, like said, on a plane, or at least on the plane to Hawaii or something.
Yeah. Did you have a deadline you were working under?
No, thank God for that.
I know. It just seems that one little domino can fall and it throws off everything for an author, I think. And you're fairly prolific, right? So how many books do you do a year?
Well, I took a long hiatus because of the whole thing that happened with the Laura's Cave. So that kind of burnt me out. Yeah. And then the first book I wrote when I came back was Alien Mate Experiment. That was this one.
Feel free. Let's see.
And that was
Alien Mate Experiment.
Yeah.
And who does this cover for you?
That one was Melody Simmons.
Melody Simmons. That's nice. I
liked it because I saw her other covers where she had the guys that had kind of the scales, and I was like, oh, that's what I want for my cover.
Scary.
So I did that one, and I was like, yes, I'm back. And
you were real pleased with how it turned out and everything?
Yes, I thought, okay, this is going to be a one-off story, and that'll be it. And everybody's like, but what about this one character? What happened with her? And I was like, why do I do this to myself? I always put that one character in who's just like, she needs a story too.
The secondary character that grabs everybody, and probably grabs you as well.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, I did that to myself, knowing people would, I was like, no, but this is going to be a one-off story. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'll write this second story. I was like, I can turn this into a series. So.
And you did, right? Yeah.
Well, that's what's coming up next.
Okay, awesome.
I polled my readers. I was like, look, guys, I have so many different stories. Which one do you want me to write next? You want me to write this one, or this one? And they're like, we want the, let's see, what was the sequel to? They want the, oh, it's not in here, I'm sorry. They wanted the sequel to my dragon book. And I was like, okay,
what was the title of that one?
That one was Favored Dragons Release. I actually pulled that one recently because I'm going to redo some of it and then re-release. It's supposed to be a trilogy. I'm going to re-release all of them all at once.
Yeah.
So I got to finish them all first.
Yeah, readers love that because they hate having to wait.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'll put up the first one, then I have 2 pre-orders. And it's like, so they wanted the dragon book. So I'm like, okay, I'll pull this one, fix it up, put that back out, and then finish the second one and the third one, put those both out, and then I'll do the sequel to this one.
Yeah.
So
is it working out that way?
I was supposed to be done in February.
Oh, okay. I know, but that's a lot to do.
Yeah. I didn't count on how much I wanted to change in the first book because there were certain things where I was like, I need to spell this out because maybe I was being too cagey about my hinting about one character. And then I said, no, I want to change this scene. And it's like, and then you go back through and you're looking at, it's like, oh man, this sentence isn't quite right, and maybe this paragraph, and then.
But as authors, we could rewrite it endlessly. Every time we look at it, we could find something else we want to change.
That's the one thing where I tell people, some of the newer authors, I'm like, stop looking at your old stuff because you're going to always find something to change.
Yeah.
So I was like, don't focus on the new one. So whenever I got some of my old books back, I'm like, okay, I'm only going to look at this one thing. And then, and it's like, all of a sudden I'm rewriting the whole book. Don't rewrite the book. Just tweak some things. Like when I got these 2 back, Adrian and Serenity.
And these are these gorgeous matte covers.
I love the matte covers.
Let me show these.
Yeah, Adrian was my debut with Samhain Publishing, and then they closed, and I got that one back, and I got back Serenity too. So when I
they were both with Samhain.
When I put those back out, I said in the front, I said that I was going to leave them alone. I wanted them to be my time capsule books. So I wanted to go back to these books and be like, I used to write like this. No, so I was like, all I did was I got a new cover for them and I maybe tweaked a little bit of the grammar and stuff, but I basically left them alone.
Awesome.
So Adrian had head hopping. This one was a little bit shorter than I wanted it to be, but I was like,
readers already liked them.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the things that we know we're supposed to do, readers don't pick up on that.
A lot of readers are like, I don't know why you changed it. It was perfectly fine. I was like, but it needed to be tweaked. So yeah, I said
so when you poll your readers and ask them that, do you ever feel like, okay, they wanted me to do this book, but then another book really calls to you and you want to do that one first?
Yeah, but I was like, no, do this book.
Do what
finish
pleases
it.
the readers, yeah.
Well, not so much pleases the readers, but it's like I had to find a way to focus myself, which is why I pulled them to begin with.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, guys, tell me which book to finish.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot I had that on. Ignore that. Okay.
Oh. But so yeah, I was like, okay, I needed to figure out, because I was just like, oh, I want to write this book. Oh, I want to write this book. And I just was writing on so many different books. I was like, okay, guys, tell me which one to finish. So
Yeah.
that was the one where I'm like, okay, I've got 40,000 words on it so far. I don't know how long it's supposed to be, probably like 60 or 70. So I was like, okay, I got it. I'm working on it. And then every so often I'll go back and be like, I want to work on this real quick. And then
So you'll go from one book to another working on it? Oh my gosh, that
I
would
have
so
so many-
confuse my brain.
No, I have so many different books started, but that's why I love Scrivener. When I discovered Scrivener, I first heard about it when I first started writing back in 2007 when I first got published. And I was like, oh, I hear about it messing up. And I was like, I don't know if I want to use that. But then somebody did one of those little things where they try to get you into a seminar or something to buy the course.
Yeah.
And I watched that and I was like, oh, that's what it can do. So I
really
bought the
amazing.
course.
Yeah.
I went through all the course things and I was like, oh my God, I love this program because you can put everything
So that's what
in
you
it.
use now for?
Yeah.
See, I've heard of it, but being traditionally published, I still just, and I'm an old dog, so I just use Word. You know, I don't know how to use it, but I think my son has told me about that and likes it.
Scrivener will change your life.
Even traditionally published, I don't know.
No, because what happens is it's your entire book and all the stuff you need for your book in one file. You open up one file and everything's right there.
Wow.
So I have any pictures that I was like, oh, this is how the hero looks. All my character sheets.
See, I do that too. So you create character sheets and pull up photos. I especially have to do it for any pets because otherwise I forget what dog or cat I had in it.
And then sometimes I'll look up like house plans because I'm like, how does their house look? So
Yeah.
I'm like, I have them entering a house and going left and then right and upstairs and downstairs. I'm like, I thought this was on a one story. So
Right.
I'll put stuff like that. But I was like, I tell people the character sheets in Scrivener
Yeah.
are the one thing that just
So
make
it kind of runs side by side, so you can keep your manuscript separate from all the research.
Oh yeah, they have.
Okay.
It's like folders and text files and stuff, and it's all in just one giant.
So
file.
confusing to me.
No,
I print. I'm one of these people. I print. So I print out a character sheet. I print out all, and I keep a stack of prints. So I can shuffle through papers. But see, I guess
No,
I'm
it
an
said
old dog.
it's like a folder, but all the folders in one file.
Yeah.
So it's like you have any websites you found, any pictures you found, the character sheets, and they have prompts on the character sheet where they have the name. They're like, what is their age? What is their occupation?
So it keeps everything right there fresh in your mind.
And then
In the middle of doing all that, do you do much social media, or when you're writing, do you just write?
no,
I
I
jump
do,
around.
I do social media too. Probably not the way I'm supposed to.
Well, so how do you do it? Now I'm curious.
Well, I mean, I get more political on my profile thing. On my author page, I usually just post like jokes and stuff, let people know what's going on with my writing.
Books and stuff. Yeah.
But on my personal profile, I'm like, oh, I'm never going to get political or whatever. But, this right now, everybody.
I keep all my politics on my family only page.
Oh, okay.
And people that are like family. So I keep all that there, and then I just do my book stuff on the other. Especially like, because here, we're like the happy place here. And there's a lot of turmoil these days, not even just with politics, like with the women's Me Too movement and sort of a wave of hating men. And I write men and I have sons, so I get hating a jerk. I don't want to hate all guys, so
Yeah.
so we try to keep this place the happy place. I try to keep any of that stuff over on my family side. Is
Yeah.
that what you do too? So you keep it on your profile away from your fan page?
Yeah.
Do you have a group, like a Facebook group?
I had it at one point, but I wasn't really doing anything with it. So I just let it go. And I think Facebook like reclaimed it or something like, you haven't posted on this group in however long. So we just canceled it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay.
Yeah.
And then at one point, way back in the dinosaur era, I had a Yahoo group.
I know, me too. MySpace.
Oh God, MySpace. I remember MySpace. And that's when Facebook came out and everybody's like, wait, I don't have to know coding? I love Facebook.
Yeah.
And now we're like, oh God, Facebook, what else can we use?
What I liked with MySpace was I could open up with music. I kind of wish I could open my Facebook page. I used to always put my favorite music on there to open up, and now we don't have that. Plus Facebook, I've had so many authors, and you can tell me if do you advertise with Facebook at all?
I did for a little bit,
Okay.
but more people, they would click on it and they want a free book. And I was usually clicking on it to lead them to buy the book.
To buy, not to get a freebie.
So I would get a
yeah.
bunch of click-throughs, but then not that many purchases. So I was
Right.
like, that's not working out.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I've heard so many authors say with Facebook, they've gotten so stringent about what you know, the ratio of text to photo. And an author friend just recently told me all of her ads got rejected and she doesn't know why. And, you know, just a lot of problems with it, I think.
I think with that one, it's usually because their credit card was not like expired or something. And they don't tell you that. They're just like, oh, all your ads have been denied or something.
She said they told her it was inappropriate material. And it was, she said it's the same stuff that I've always done, you know, like a picture of the book cover and a little bit of info. And it didn't seem especially risque, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a guy who does that for me. We won't say who, because he's standing around here videotaping us.
But yeah, no, I did it, and I was like, okay, well, if I ever have another freebie book or something, then I'll do it. And that way I can get a bunch of click-throughs, and maybe people will come back to my newsletter. But for a paid book, maybe a little bit once it first comes out to get some eyes on it, but not as a long-term thing, because it just seems like it wasn't following. There was no
Did the
return.
newsletter thing cause you problems when they did the whole
all the changes MailChimp did?
Yeah.
No, I figured out the workaround. They said that if you archive the unsubscribed people, that they don't count towards your account. So I was like, every time I go through like once a week and do I have any unsubscribes? Okay, archive those.
Boy,
Done.
you're dedicated.
I was like, I'm not letting you guys charge me more money.
Yeah, because it would be so problematic. Let's talk about this one too, because this is also a beautiful cover. And I wanted to also mention that you also write, where is it? You also write as Zenobia Renquist.
Yeah.
So you write as D. Renee Bagby, and what's the difference between the two?
Okay, so the D. Renee Bagby books, I started that and I had these 7 universes I was going to write in. Like, so this is the Braun universe, this is the Gazon universe, and even though I don't put it on there, that was like the Plain Sight universe, I think it was.
Plain Sight?
Yeah. So I had these 7 universes I was going to introduce, like one book at a time. I kind of got off of that.
Okay.
So this is the first 3 universes I've introduced. And at first I was like, okay, I'm just going to write in these 7 universes and that's it, and maybe they'll have little crossovers. But then of course my muse being my muse, she's like, but what about this story, and what about this story? And I was like, but that doesn't fit within the confines of the rules I've set up. I was like, okay, you know what, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'll make up another name and put those random stories under that name.
So that's the Zenobia comes in?
Yeah, that's where Zenobia comes in. And then all of a sudden I started like putting more on Zenobia than I did on. I was like, oh, why did I do that to myself? So I have like a whole bunch of shorter novellas at Changeling Press, and and I started putting more on Zenobia, and I'm like, I know my D. Renee Bagby fans are just like, when are we going to get the next book?
But you probably have crossover too, I bet, right? I mean, there's specific ones they want, but generally if a reader enjoys your writing style, they like to read whatever you have. I used to have a t-shirt back when I wore t-shirts that said blame it on the muse, because my muse would lead me astray sometimes too.
Oh yeah, and then of course the characters, they're like, this one was originally, when I first did it, it was a nano book, and it was only supposed to be 2 people. It was a couple. And then I got towards the end of it, and then one character, the best friend of the hero, was like, what would have happened if you met me first? And she's like, what? And then after I typed it, I was like, wait, what? Where'd that come from? What do you mean you love her too? I was like, oh, scrap the whole book, start over again, and that's how this became a threesome.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome. So we've got D. Renee Bagby, and we have Zenobia Renquist, and you are an amazing sponsor for the event. So you're a talented author and very generous. Thank you so very, very much for being here today. And I look forward to seeing you every year in the future, because we're never going to let you go.
Thanks. I love coming here. This is the most laid back convention, and it's just nice to come out and
we try to keep it just casual and friendly.
Yeah.
And for everybody but me, because I tend to run a lot. And my poor volunteers, but otherwise.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.